Hi students, welcome to lesson number 2, the meaning, importance, nature and scope of urban sociology. Urban sociology is that branch of sociology which deals with the description and analysis of urban life. From the emergence of Sumer in the Fertile Crescent to today's megacities, civilization and city living have always went hand in hand. Indeed, today the majority of the world's population dwells in urban places, and there is every indication that rapid urbanization will continue for the foreseeable future. Increasingly, then the study of society is the study of urban society, and then therein lies the relevance of urban sociology. Urban sociology is the study of special form of community organization called cities. The principal questions of urban sociology are how and why cities came into being, why they take on certain forms of social organization, how they are spatially structures, how people living in cities interact with one another, how cities affect their host regions and nations, and how problems arise from urbanism or urbanization. The objective of the lesson is to provide a brief introduction of urban sociology, which is a distinct area of sociological inquiry having to do with about cities and the urban life and effects on mankind. To understand the meaning of urban, nature and scope of urban sociology, to examine the importance of urban sociology. Meaning of urban. The term urban is understood as any place where there is an agglomerate population, that is communities of 20,000 or more, a way of life that is distinct from rural or small town lifestyles, a center known for its political, economic or cultural power, that is government center, the hub of change where innovation and creativity abound, that is employment. A population center that spawns and fosters alternate value systems. They are the diversity over uniformity, freedom over security and anonymity over familiarity. Meaning and definition of urban sociology. The rapid transformations of man's social condition in the world today are emergence of urban processes leading to development of cities, and the growth of cities is a phenomena of recent years, which made to bring a systematic and scientific study of the urban communities. According to Nels Anderson, there are two community sociologies, rural and urban, and each is prominently recognized by that discipline. The field of rural sociology is rural society and rural living, while that of urban sociology concerns society and living in towns and cities. According to Kent P. Squirian, urban sociology is the sociology of urban life and activities. According to James A. Quinn, urban sociology is that branch of sociology which deals with the city or urban community with urbanization and urbanism as its main components. Urban sociology deals with the impact of city life on social actions, social relationships, social institutions and the types of civilizations derived from and based on urban modes of living. The impact is considerable. Without cities, mankind would have remained on a much more primitive level, according to Egon E. Bergel. Urban sociology is the study of social organization and interaction of population groups within the built environment. The physical superstructure of highways, abandoned factories, suburban housing developments, shopping malls, modern capitalism, etc. It also deals with the historic forces which have produced the industrial and corporate cities of the present era. The location of industrial and commercial areas within the contemporary city, lifestyles of racial and ethnic groups within urban neighborhoods, and the effect of social, economic and political forces on patterns of everyday life in cities and suburbs. Urban sociology examines social structures and processes of modern urban ways of life and its implications for city dwellers with socio-cultural milieu. What is a city? The word city dominates the study of urban sociology. Etymologically, the word civilization is derived from civitas, the Latin word for city, and it means the cultivated life of city people. The census bureaus, which makes the head counts of population living in a rural and urban areas, has defined city as population exceeding a certain size. Besides having a reasonably large number of people, cities are characterized by permanence, density of population, heterogeneity and occupational specialization, differentiation and stratification, mobility and system of interactions of inhabitants. A city is a dense and permanent concentration of people living in a limited geographic area who earn their living primarily through non-agricultural activities. The city is a natural and expected place to live, but origin of urban centers or cities as a form of human settlements is not known precisely known. There is a literature tracing the origin and development of cities based on legends, myth and speculation. Cities had emerged during the period of recorded history. The earliest cities emerged about 4000 BC in the Middle East, now in Iraq. Today's cities trace their origin to the villages of prehistory, where a few hundred people lived and produced the food necessary for survival. The Neolithic revolution gave rise to urban revolution. The origin of cities appeared recently in the history of mankind. According to archaeological evidence and historical research, the first urban settlement or the earliest cities in the world appeared approximately around 3500 BC in Mesopotamia and in southwestern Asia. The growth of cities has necessitated a systematic and scientific study of the urban communities. Without cities, mankind would have remained on a simple primitive food gathering societies. It is observed that the significance of the city in determining the patterns of life throughout modern society is obvious, and hence the study of social behaviors in a city has developed urban sociology. Accordingly, the distinct area of sociological inquiry to work for the study of cities and their effects, which is called as urban sociology, was born. Urban sociology is a part of general sociology which studies urban communities, their structure, functions, etc. There is a need for urban sociology, which is a specialized area of study with its unique subject matter. Urban centers make great influence in making difference in shaping experiences, behaviors and social relationships of people. Urban sociology is the sociological study of the various statistics among the population in cities, mainly the study of urban areas where industrial, commercial and residential zones converge. This practice sheds light on the influence of cityscape, environment in Burgal area of poverty in response to several different languages, a low quality of life, several different ethnic groups and low standard of police guardianship that all amount to social disorganization. Origin and development of urban sociology. Urban sociology is a branch of sociology. Urban sociology is a systematic study which developed in the 20th century in America. The first book about the city was written by the Italian author Giovanni Botero in 1598, Delle cose della grandezza della città. This book was hardly more than a scientific curiosity and did not create a new science, but from the 17th century on, the city became the object of scientific research. The first monograph written on a city by a sociologist as Byron Maurer in 1910, and the approach of the study was an economist. Most of the work on urban sociology has been carried out in the USA by 1920, because the rapid process of urbanization had took place from the late 19th century through the first part of 20th century, has tremendous importance since it marks the emergence of the USA as an urban nation. Robert E. Parks The city was first published in the American Journal of Sociology in 1915. In 1925, urban sociology emerged as an attempt to understand this process and the consequences that it had for social life, for the dominance of the city, especially of the great copy, according to Learsworth in 1938, may be regarded as a consequence of the concentration in cities of industrial, commercial, financial and administrative facilities and activities, theatres, libraries, museums, concert halls, operas, hospitals, colleges, research and publishing centres, professional organizations and religious and welfare institutions. The city would remain the hub of modern social, political, economic and cultural activity, a place regarded as the centerpiece of modern civilization. The city remained as the heart and soul of urban life, and as such it remained the single most important subject of urban sociology. The structure of urban life changed after the post-war era in America. Political decisions, economic conditions and technological developments brought fortunes to the great city. Major cities in America in 1970 were in crisis. Their central areas had become economically depressed and had fallen into disrepair. Unemployment, homelessness, crime, pollution, substandard housing, inadequate public transport and infrastructure had become the trademarks of inner cities and downtown districts throughout the USA. Many of the activities and functions associated with the city had become decentralized. The suburbs, which were merely being single function dormitory zones, took over as economic and cultural destinations. These suburbs became self-sufficient, multi-purpose cities of their own. The city had become unessential. At the same time, the growth of the suburbs transformed urban areas into huge metropolises and beyond into megapolises. Changes in lifestyles, the use of space and politics accompanied the transformation, and urban sociology increased its attention on new sprawling suburbs. The communities rapidly expanding outwardly from the edges of the old city. Many changes like economic, social and cultural changes have taken place in the last few decades. Social scientists refer to these changes in the urban landscape as the post-modern era or the post-suburb. Many terms like suburbs, metropolis, megalopolis, technocrat and suburbia reflects the variety and complexity of urban environments that constitute the field of study. Nature of urban sociology. The theorizing and research of the sociologist established the main direction. The two directions characterize urban sociology in the early period. The first came from the sociologist at the University of Chicago, emphasizing the demographic and ecological structure of the city, the social disorganization and pathology of the urban normative order, and the social psychology of urban existence. The second direction had come to be called community studies. It consists of broad ethnographic studies of the social structure of the individual, communities and the ways of life of the inhabitants. These two orientations are divided into the culturalist approach and the structuralist approach in urban sociology. The culturalists emphasize on how urban life feels, how people react to living in urban areas and how the city life is organized. This approach tries to study and explore the culture, organizational and social psychological consequences of urban life. The structuralist approach investigates the interplay between the political and the economic forces, the growth, decline and changing spatial organization of urban space. They consider city as the physical embodiment of political and economic relationship. They argue that the city itself is an effect of more fundamental forces and cities are shaped by social powers that affect all aspects of human existence. The Chicago School sociologists like Park Burgess, and McKenzie belong to this approach. Therefore, urban sociology is not a subject with distinct individuality, but the combination of both culturalist and structuralist. Scope of urban sociology. The scope of urban sociology is very vast and multidimensional. The scope includes the cities, which are its subject matter, has outgrown its own boundaries. Urban sociology relies on the related sciences and borrows from history, economics, social psychology, public administration and social work. The subject matter is cities and their growth, and it deals with problems like planning and development of cities, traffic regulations, public water works, social hygiene, sewerage works, housing, beggary, juvenile delinquency, crime, pollution of all types, fluidity of law and order, situation, increase in crime, various physical and mental disorders, increasing suicides and divorces, prostitution and many social evils, etc. Thus, urbanism is many-sided, so also the subject matter of sociology. The scope of urban sociology is wider, as it not only studies the urban setup and facts, but also tries to give suggestions to solve problems arising out of dynamic nature of the society. The scope of urban sociology is studied under the following heads. The urban sociologists are correlators and interpreters of social phenomena within the framework of historical, social, physical and social psychological range. Thus, the subject matter encompasses a wide range of allied subjects. The number and expanse of topics falling within the domain of urban sociology is great and varied. Urban sociology studies the nature and characteristic of a city, its size, density and characters of relations and social interactions of its people, its spatial pattern and changes, the peculiar type of relations and social interaction found in urban milieu. Urban sociologists are concerned with the social structure of cities, current and past of the nations. Also, pattern, they are of interest the way men cope with urban life through their institutions and social groups. Thus, it can be said that the scope of urban sociologists is not only multidimensional, but it concentrates on varied fields. Introductory scope of urban sociology. The main aim of urban sociology is to study the basic principles of the city life. The introductory scope, the study covers as follows: urban ecology. Urban ecology studies the facts of the urban environment. It also emphasizes the study of population in the cities. Urban morphology, the study of social life of urban areas as and that of urban organization is undertaken in urban morphology. Urban psychology, the study focus is on the behavior and the mode of living of the people in urban areas. Analytical scope, under this field of study, the analytical scope, various concepts and important phases of urban life are developed and studied. Reformative scope, the problems of urbanism such as the important issues like impact of urbanization on urban society leading to urban disorganization, urban planning and development is covered by reformative scope. Importance of urban sociology. The study of urban sociology is very important like any other branch of sociology. Urban sociology occupies an important place as it tries to study the urban life of both developed and developing countries. The urban life of advanced nations, they are considered as the torch bearer of the revolutionary changes in the political, social and economic and cultural movements. With the advancement of industrialization and technological development, the people of villages are attracted towards cities and towns, and this has hastened the urbanization to a great extent. Due to this, the personal tendencies and trends and norms and standards of all social institutions have also undergone a tremendous change. Increase in crimes and corruption was witnessed by urban societies, which lead to social disorganization. Other than these, many grave problems like economic and political have cropped up, forcing governmental organization to pay attention to find solutions to these problems. Urban sociologists' contributions services are important for urban societies, as with the help of urban sociologists, urban social problems cannot be effectively solved. The importance of urban sociology can be observed from the following reasons given here: reconstruction of urban society, study of urbanization to solve the problems that crop up due to the extension of urbanization, urban planning and proper implementation of community projects, study of the ever-changing urban social structure. Urban sociology studies the development of towns, social disorganization, the urban life and town planning. It also makes a study of the interaction between the urban environment and the development of human personality. It also studies the structure of family, role of family and the permanent and changing elements of a family. It also focuses on the institution of marriage in urban content, the fundamentals and trends in marriage. It also studies the factors and causes of social and personal disorganization and the remedies thereof. It also undertakes an investigation of industries and industrial relations, the causes of disharmony between labor and management and the ways and means of bringing about the harmony and peaceful constructive relations. It also focuses the facts of urban life, but also evaluates the facts in order to understand their causes and means of improvement. It also gives knowledge of social tensions in order to learn the real causes behind them. Thus, urban sociologists' importance lies not only theoretically, but it has an applied aspect as well. The value and importance of urban sociology also goes with the metropolis of today. In advanced countries are standard bearers of revolutionary changes in social, political, economic and cultural movements. The process of urbanization has been hastened in advanced countries due to industrialization and technological changes. This urbanization has also given rise to a number of economic, social and cultural problems. As a result of urbanization, there is a change in personal tendencies and trends. The norms and standards of marriage and family have undergone change, and there has been considerable rise in corruption and disorganization. It has also given rise to grave problems of health, psychological as well as physical. In order to understand and remedy this state of affairs, we need a systematic study. And as the problems are grave and crucial, government are also closely attentive to these. It is in this connection that the need of urban sociology is felt. An urban sociologist is a social doctor who is concerned with organization and disorganization of urban society. Therefore, without his services, urban problems cannot be effectively solved. In order to reconstruct towns, the services of urban sociologists are indispensable. Urban sociology in India. Though urban sociology took its origin in the late 1800 and early 1900 at the University of Chicago with the works of Parks, Burgess and Mackenzie, in India, few studies of towns and cities of urban social life was taken up in 1920s. Indian sociologist S. Gurhe's work on cities and civilizations in 1962 at the University of Bombay in early 1960s. His work was in the comparative and historical aspects of urbanization and rural-urban life and adjustment problems. Radha Kamal Mukherjee studies were on ecology in Lucknow University, morphology of Indian cities by John E. Brush in 1962, Little Madras in Bombay City by K. L. Maithili 1959, University of Bombay. Mehta 1966, the ecological studies are a valuable source material for the social processes and implications of ecological phenomenon. Demographic studies of town and cities are based on census and national sample survey data. Kinsley Davis Roy, Turner and many others have made significant contributions to the urban demographic analysis. Various research committees of the Planning Commission of India initiated a number of socio-economic surveys of cities during first 5-year plan, and by the end of the 8th 5-year plan, we have number of studies on individual, mega, medium and small cities on various aspects of urbanization. Urbanism, social problems, caste and class, ecology, pollution and so on. Though urbanization was focused, but at the same time town planner studies were concentrated on neighborhoods, housing, urban community development, urban renewal and urban development and planning. In urban sociology, there are various theoretical perspectives or approaches that are allied in theorizing urban social phenomena. They are as follows: the ecological perspective classified into 4 categories: traditional materialist, social culturalist, neoclassical materialist, social area analysis. Demographic perspective, which is based on the amount of land available, the level of knowledge concerning land use, the state of technical arts and the prevailing system of allocation, etc. The judicial perspective initiated by Max Weber regards political power at all levels as the variable explaining urban growth and land use patterns. The city as the headquarters for the political, educational, religious and other controlling institutions of a society, generates sweeping changes in the life patterns by giving birth to new ideologies and social movements. Urban sociology deals with the description and analysis of urban life. Urban sociology is the systematic study which saw its development in the 20th century in America. In the study of urban sociology, the Chicago School has great influence. The scope of urban sociology is vast and multidimensional. Urban sociology relies and takes knowledge from related sciences like history, economics, social psychology, public administration and others. Urban sociology is an important subject as it studies the urban life of developed and developing countries.